All right, guys, let's look at the first question of this review. All right, it says Laura's yard is in the shape of a square and a half circle. What is the approximate area of Laura's yard? Okay. Now, if I were you guys, I would really pay attention to this question. You may see it again. Okay. Wink, wink. All right. So when I look at this picture, just like what they say, I see a square and I see a half circle. So I'll annotate in green for the square and I'll annotate in blue for the semicircle or the half circle. Okay. Now it's wanting us to find the area of Laura's yard. And this word is in bold too. And I want you guys to reference back to that lesson when I was talking about approximate areas of particular objects. Okay. Remember, we're not looking for the exact number. We're looking for a number that rounds up close to that number. Okay. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to need to find the area of a square. And remember, area is within the inside. Okay, area is within the inside of a square. All right, and you need to know the formula to find a square, which is simple. You guys have been learning about this for a while. The formula to find a square, the area of a square, is length times width, or I'm going to put base times height. Okay, so in this case, we're multiplying 17 times 17. Okay, 17 times 17 is 289 meters squared. Okay. So I'll write that in black. Okay. Now, on to the next part, which is the semicircle. And I'm going to highlight that in blue. I'll be annotating in blue as well and put my final answer in black. Okay. So I need to figure out how on earth can I find the length of the diameter for the circle, and I'm tracing over it heavily in dark blue, in that light blue. So how would I be able to find the diameter? Well, you first need to understand the dynamics of a square, which is all sides of the square are equivalent. So if this side is 17, then this side is 17 meters, which means this side is also 17 meters, which would mean that the diameter of a circle is 17 meters. But when I look at the area of a circle formula, it says area times pi, and let me undo that, because I don't want you guys to think that you have to multiply anything times the actual A. So it's pi times radius squared. So is 17 a radius or a diameter? What did we say? 17 meters would be the diameter of the circle. And you guys may have to reference back to that last video to discuss, like, what's the relationship between a diameter and a radius? Okay. So how can I find the length of the radius? Because we should know that pi, which is the universal estimation of pi, is 3 and 1400ths. So how would I find the radius? I'll give you guys some time to think about that. If you guess that we need to divide the diameter by 2, you are absolutely correct, because the radius is half of the diameter. All right. So when I divide 17 divided by 2, I should get 8.5 or 8.5. Correct. And let me write my notes a little bit better so you guys can understand it better, because neat notes make the best notes. 3.14. Okay, so when I plug in my answer or my values into the formula, so I have area is equal to 3.14 or 3 and 1400ths times 8.5 squared. And remember, r squared, we could put r times r. So when I input that into a calculator, and guys, you guys are at home, feel free to use a calculator for this test. I get this number for the area of a circle. So this is what I found for area of a circle. But I have to think, is this a circle or is this a half circle? What do I have to do? Like, this is giving me an area of a whole circle, but the question is saying that this is a half of circle, which we see that. So what should I do with this number? What should I do? If you guess that we need to divide this number divided by 2, you are absolutely correct. Okay? So when I divide this by 2, well, first of all, we know that 2 can go into 22 11 times. How many times can 2 go into 6? 3 times. Push that decimal up, and then I'm going to drop that 8. How many times can 2 go into 8? 4 times. How many times could 2 go into 6? 3 times. And 5 is 2. And it would have been, if I keep going, it's going to end up being a 5 at the end. Okay. So the area of the semicircle, and we could round it off. We could round it off to the nearest 10th. Because is that 3 big enough to round that 4 up? Absolutely not. Because remember, we're only looking for approximate area. We're not looking for the exact. So we want to round it up to the nearest 10th, which is, we want to say 113 and 4/10 meters squared, because it's area. So now I found the area of the semicircle, or the half circle in this case. And then I found the area of the square. What should I do with those two numbers? Because remember, they make one whole shape. If you guess that we need to add those areas together, you are absolutely correct. So we're going to do 289 plus 113 and 4/10. And I'm adding, so... When I look at my answer choices, which one seems the closest to this answer? If you guess B, you are 100% correct. B will be the closest to this answer. All right, guys. So if you guys have any questions on this question, make sure you visit your manager's Google Meet session. All right. And I'll see you guys in the next review problem.